Hello in TV land. I'm Sebastian and Rowan.
And my name is Rowan Wood, and this is Across the Stars, where if it's Star Wars, we cover it. This is a little bonus episode we got here. It's going to be shorter than normal, but we just wanted to we're planning on doing these little bonus episodes whenever we have a bit of news. Exactly, yes. And in this case, it has to do with the 2020 Emmy nominations. Now, usually, I wouldn't bother myself with such trivial... No, just kidding. Mandalorian got...
I normally don't.
Yeah, so Mandalorian got 15 nominations. And that's mainly what we're going to discuss today. But before we talk about Mandalorian, we have to bring up the fact that another Star Wars television series got nominated. Star Wars Resistance. For outstanding
children's program.
I love that they use the word outstanding. Because that's that's like a high bar, you know.
Like Kieran said when we were talking to him earlier, the first episode must be incredibly misleading or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because for those of you that don't know, Sebastian and I watched the pilot episode for another podcast we do called The Pilot Pack, which the episode that we reviewed, Resistance, hasn't come out yet by the time this is going to go up, but we did it, and we didn't like it. We didn't like the pilot for Resistance, because it's not a patch on Clone Wars or Rebels, not even close. And so I think, Resistance, it has a weird animation style.
Yeah, we spent like half the episode just criticizing the animation.
Yeah.
But it just the characters seemed like super bland to me.
Yeah.
I guess they must get better.
Yeah. When we were talking about it, you said, "Oh man, shit must get real in season 2." Because as Kieran said, season 1, the pilot probably isn't indicative of the whole show because it was just them starting out. But who knows? Maybe they learned from their mistakes and got better in the second season. Or maybe the Emmy voters are just blind and stupid.
Yeah. To be fair, I can't think of too many. Actually, wait, no. Clone Wars Season 7 came out this year. Hello.
Yeah, I know. I mean, come on. This is like the last hurrah for the Clone Wars.
Okay,
right?
Whatever. That's a discussion for another day. Hey, we're here to briefly talk about Mandalorian.
Of course, yes.
Which I guess we'll just go one by one. I have the list here.
Do you have the list from the official Emmys website?
I have the list from the official Star Wars website.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm assuming they're listing the same ones. Maybe not in order, but whatever. Okay.
Yeah. So first one here we got Outstanding Drama Series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is I can believe that. Mandalorian when it came out, it's what convinced like a whole lot of people to buy Disney Plus. And, I don't know about you, but every day I went into school and everybody was talking about the previous episode that had just come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. All right. Next one we got here, Outstanding Character Voiceover Performance for Taika Waititi as
all right. Yeah. I get that. He was one of the best parts of the episodes that he was in, which was 2 of them.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Yeah,
but he was fantastic in those 3 episodes because he's Taika Waititi.
I was so disappointed in a bit of a spoiler here, so cover your ears. When he shot him in episode 1, because I was like, I actually really like that.
Yeah.
Then they found a way to bring him back, which
it says specifically here on the Emmys website that it was nominated for episode 8.
Which Chapter 8 Redemption.
Yeah, which was his last one, which makes sense because I feel like that was the most effective performance of his, because in episode 1, he was sort of just a monotone, normal assassin droid, but later on he actually had a personality, and that makes sense why he would be nominated for a later episode.
All right. Up next here, we have Outstanding Guest Actor in a Drama Series, and that goes to Giancarlo Esposito as Moff Gideon.
Okay, so he was really good. However, he was barely in it. I mean,
I think that's why it's a guest.
Yeah, I know,
actor.
but even in the episode that he's nominated for, episode 8, he was barely in that one. And I'm not arguing. Giancarlo Esposito deserves all of the awards for everything because he didn't win anything. He didn't win anything for Breaking Bad. I don't know if he's ever won anything for Better Call Saul either. But he really deserves something. So I mean,
my guess is somebody saw they didn't win anything. It was like, oh, we got to give him something here.
Yeah.
Perfect opportunity.
Yeah, but I mean, I recant what I said. He totally deserves this, and I feel like he's gonna have a much bigger role in season 2.
The other thing is that maybe it's just because of the way it ends, sort of setting him up to be, I guess, the next season's villain. It left an impression with me, so I can't really argue with their choice here.
For sure.
All right. Next up here, we have Outstanding Production Design for a Narrative Program, which went to Chapter 1 of The Mandalorian.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. Because they had to, in their first episode, they had to set everything up. They had to establish a vibe, a scene. And so I feel like episode 1, out of all of them, episode 1 probably had the best production design. Because, he went to so many planets. We got the desert planet. Was it Tatooine, the desert planet, or was it somewhere else?
It might have been somewhere else.
Yeah. But we got...
I don't think did they say the name of it at all? I'm not sure they did.
Remember. But we have that planet. We have the ice planet from the beginning. And we have just, I feel like Mandalorian is more intentionally visual than other Star Wars movies. Because, it's television, but each TV episode has the budget of a small film. So they have the capability to make something that you don't usually see on television, like something so visually spectacular that it belongs on the big screen,
Yeah. All right, next up we have Outstanding Cinematography for a Single Camera Series, half hour. That went to Chapter 7 of called The Reckoning of The Mandalorian.
Interesting. Chapter 7. I mean, do you remember anything specifically special about Chapter 7 cinematography?
I don't at all.
Yeah.
In all honesty, but cinematography, I feel like it, I don't really notice it unless it's a specific choice that they have. I can and what is it? And I usually don't notice it until way later. A couple I really noticed that Breaking Bad had some really great cinematography, but it's not something I noticed in the first 8 episodes. It's something that I noticed because it's a subtle thing that you don't really pick up on immediately.
Yeah, I'm sure when we review and recap the first season of The Mandalorian on this podcast eventually, because if it's Star Wars,
we'll have to talk about the cinematography.
Exactly, we'll have to talk about everything that the Emmys specifically pointed out. All right, what's next?
Outstanding fantasy or sci-fi costumes, and you know what? Can you really disagree with this? I think they
absolutely
really,
not. It says
some really good costumes.
Yeah, it says Chapter 3. Which one was Chapter 3?
Yes, Chapter
was
3
that the one?
Is that the one with the ATST?
No, I think that was episode 4. The one where they were defending the town. I think that was episode 4. So what was episode 3? What happened in episode 3? Because I remember 1 and 2.
Yeah, I remember 1 and 2 as well.
But so what? And
that's where he returns for his reward, but some deals don't end neatly.
Yes. Yep. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Also, because that was the one where he went. Oh, with all of the Mandalorians and the stormtroopers and Werner Herzog and that episode 100% deserved that.
All right. Next up, we have Outstanding Single Camera Picture Editing for a Drama Series.
Okay, and that was for episode 4. Yeah, I can see that.
Yes, this one says Chapter 2 and Chapter 4.
Interesting, Chapter 2 and Chapter 4. Okay, I can see that. I can see that. None of the editing really like leapt out at me when I was watching this show, but you know, The Mandalorian is just a technical achievement on so many levels. Mm-hmm. So they had to do something right with the editing. Obviously.
I feel like if you were to notice something like this, it's usually because they like screwed it up bad.
That's true.
So the fact that you didn't notice, I don't know. I'm just... All right, next up we have prosthetic makeup for a series, limited series, movie, or special. Went to Chapter 6, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the Bill Burr episode.
Yes. Yeah, because in that one we had Clancy Brown as the guy with the giant horns, and we had totally forgot her name. She played.
Yeah, there was like a whole group of
the woman who played
people with.
The woman who played Nymphadora Tonks in the Harry Potter series, she played a Twi'lek, and I didn't recognize her until I saw the credits afterwards. So you know,
I wouldn't have recognized her name in the credits either. I mean, hey.
Yeah. So pretty outstanding makeup, I would say.
All right. Up next is outstanding music composition for a series, original dramatic score. And I went to Chapter 8, Redemption. I mean, I feel like it probably could have gone to any other chapters.
Yeah. Especially the just the theme that played over the credits every episode.
So good.
So good.
All right. Next up, we have outstanding sound editing for a comedy or drama series, half hour, and animation. Okay. That is nominated, so I didn't go to anything yet.
Yeah.
Chapter 1 got nominated, which, fair enough.
Interesting.
I feel like Star Wars always has some like interesting sound effects and whatnot. So.
Yeah, and especially for Episode 1, you know, there was the opening scene in the tavern. We got a lot of great sound there. You know, the blaster fire. We got the door closing on a Quarren and cutting him in half.
That is one of my favorite scenes in the whole show.
I know, right? And it makes such an impression because it was the first. It was the first scene.
It's good time. Up next, we have outstanding sound mixing for a comedy or drama series, half hour, and animation. That went to Chapter 2, The Child.
Okay, you have to be a really special, or like, you have to be really into film and television and the technical aspect to know the difference between sound mixing and sound editing, because I don't.
I was about to ask what sound...
Yeah, I don't. I could look it up right now, because, like, there are two different categories in, like, every award show, you know? So it's like, you know, normal people don't know the difference, and usually at the Oscars, the same things are nominated for both categories. So why even have two categories? Okay, so sound editing is about collecting the sounds needed for a film. Sound mixing refers to what is done after they are collected. The sound editing category used to be known as the sound effect editing, which is actually the more apt name. Interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Or, you know, I mean, I think that the sounds were used effectively, so I suppose.
Yeah, I agree.
Sound mixing works.
Yeah.
And then, second to last, not last, there's no one after this, we have outstanding special visual effects.
That could go for anyone, really.
It really, the visually speaking, it's pretty incredible stuff.
It said that episode 2 was nominated for that.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because that was the one with the scene, the Jawas, and the scene with Baby Yoda and the creature that was running at Mando. You know, like Baby Yoda used the Force and all that. So I think, you know, because there were so many factors at play in that scene, like Baby Yoda, like I'm sure he wasn't a puppet 100% of the time, and like the thing with the big horn that was running at the Mandalorian. I think all of those factors made it stand out, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And last but definitely not least, outstanding stunt coordination for a drama series, limited series, or movie.
Yeah.
And I went to.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it had some pretty solid stunt work.
Yeah, and the Pedro Pascal wasn't even in the Mandalorian suit the majority of the time. So I feel like it was just always a stunt man. It was always.
If you can't see his face, then like you might as well just have a stunt.
Exactly. And like for like I believe it was for episodes 4, 5, and 6. He was doing King Lear on Broadway. So he he literally couldn't be there. So they just had someone, and like I'm sure that's what they did for most of the other episodes too. Because if he's not going to show his face, you don't need Pedro Pascal there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like you could just have him voice it over.
Exactly. Yeah. I believe that was a reason, at least that I heard from some of my friends, that they weren't really impressed with The Mandalorian season 1 because his it's only his voice, and his voice is sort of monotone and emotionless, and I get that, but that's how it's supposed to be, I think.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to see him form connections and grow and turn into become an empathetic human being as opposed to just like a Mandalorian,
Yeah,
so
right off the bat, you sort of just see him as your typical like kind of heartless bounty hunter who's just, except he's good.
Yeah. Yeah, well, those are the Emmy nominations for 2020. Do you think that any of them are going to win, or if so, how many?
The ones I really think makeup and costumes are two that like stand a decent chance, but that's just. I also don't watch a lot of
other TV shows.
Other TV, I or if I do, it's like a show that's years old, so I don't know a lot about the other shows being nominated, so I can't talk too much about this sort of thing.
Yeah, I know. HBO. I know HBO's Watchmen TV series got nominated for, I believe, 26 categories, which is huge. Shit. It's huge. And I think they're they're in the same category as Mandalorian for, I think, most if not all of what's listed here. So because they're a limited series, so I think they might edge out Mandalorian for a decent amount of categories. But Mandalorian is much more of a technical achievement than Watchmen is, and Watchmen's fantastic, but I don't think it can get everything because 26 categories is so much. That's
you're gonna lose something.
That's almost the whole. That's almost the whole awards, So yeah. But I think Mandalorian definitely has a shot for some of them. I interrupted you before. You were saying
Another one that I think it has a chance is just because I feel like the music stood out with everyone.
Yeah.
Like. Just the music stands out, and like everybody I talk to seem to enjoy it. So I think that's another one that has a chance of winning.
Yeah, and they, I don't know if you kept up with this when the episodes were being released, but they released a different soundtrack for every episode. So like after episode 1 came out, they released the full album of episode 1 music.
Oh, I had no clue.
Yeah, and did so for each of the other episodes. So it wasn't just a full season soundtrack. Each episode had its own signature score and soundtrack. So I just think that that level of commitment to making every episode unique in its own right deserves something.
That's really cool.
And I am probably going to butcher the name. Ludwig Göransson. I don't know the composer. The composer. He did Black Panther. He did the music for Community. He did. He's done so much, but everything he's done is so different. So different. I mean, like, I wouldn't have known if I didn't look it up that he also did the music for Community, which is, not similar to anything else that he's ever done. So it definitely goes to show his range, and I think he deserves to be recognized for that. Yeah.
Well, these here are the Emmy nominations for The Mandalorian, and let's not forget Star Wars Resistance.
Wouldn't it be hilarious if Resistance
If Star Wars Resistance wins, then
hold on.
I don't know a lot of children's cartoons that are coming out, but there's got to be something that can beat what I saw.
Let's look this up. Outstanding children's program. We have there's only 3. Ooh. Okay. All right. So it's Star Wars Resistance, We Are the Dream, the kids of the Oakland MLK or Radical Fest. And then,
what?
I don't know what that is. It's a documentary about the 2019 edition of the annual Radical Fest around Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. That automatically sounds better than Resistance.
I'm just taken aback by the fact that they considered that like a children's program.
Oh, interesting. Resistance was nominated the year before as well, but it did not win. Ooh.
Shocker.
And also the third one nominated this year is The Dark Crystal: Age of Resistance, which is one of my favorite Netflix series from this past year, and I think personally that deserves to win. But I haven't seen the friggin' MLK Radical Kids Fest thing.
Yeah, I know.
So I can't accurately say anything. But yeah, Resistance better not win.
I feel like a documentary is such an odd choice for a show.
I know, right?
Show. They're not going to remember any.
I know, yeah. Right. And it's an hour long too. It's not like a TV series. It's a special.
It's just a documentary.
It's just a documentary, pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's an outstanding children's program, I must say.
I guess so, yeah. Well, all those of you listening out there, thank you for tuning in to this special episode of Beyond Across the Stars, not Beyond the Stars. So my name is Rowan Wood.
And I'm Sebastian Rickoff.
And we'll be back next week with another episode. Bye, guys.